Page 99, this is Rondo a Capriccio. This is a harmonization study. This and the next couple lessons harmonizing, where they're giving you the melody and the chords, and you get to make up the accompaniment, although they give you a suggestion of chord rhythm and so forth. So let's go through that. The first thing to do is look it over and learn the melody well. This is a very famous melody by Beethoven. He must have been in a good mood. I encourage you to go listen to Rage Over a Lost Penny. Search on that. And just listen to different people play it. Some people play it rather well, and other people just play it like a finger exercise. They say, "Ooh, look how fast I can play." Yeah. But listen to a few people play this really neat little piece. However, let's see. It's one sharp in the key signature. We are in the key of G majors. Okay. 2 4-time signature. One. See those notes? That's just a chord, an extended chord. The problem is we're out of position. I want to be up here. So I don't want to play the chord like that if I got to come up here. I want to prepare for it. I got a lot of repeated notes. I could go here. I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. You know, it's like a sequence going up. Or 3, 1. I don't care. But now I'm in position. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and a 1. Come down to it again. Measure 9. Just right there, but we need the thumb here to prepare for this E here. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1. I like the idea of using the awkward fingers, 5 and 4. I'm just rotating, I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger. Don't hold the hand still and try and do it with the fingers. Just go ahead and let it's a very little motion. I can exaggerate it so you can see it better. But really, you're just transferring weight from one finger to the other. And you can transfer weight very quickly. Just stay relaxed. Rest. And come back down. And then do it again. I don't like using the thumb here, but we're kind of spread out. You could, see, I want to connect that. This is a new phrase I can lift up. So here I am going to use thumb on both. In measure 19, they give you a natural sign in the C. You don't need the natural sign. It's a C natural anyway. You had a C sharp before sometime. They think, oh, use the C natural. It's a C natural. Don't think you got to have a natural sign or it would have been a C sharp, because you don't. Left hand, well, it's the chords. So let's just figure out what the chords are first. We got a G chord. And then we got a D7 chord, which is here. But they want the F sharp on the bottom. So I'm going to put the D on top. It's a 5/7 chord. Here. Back to the G chord. Then measure 7 is that D7. That's a 5/7 chord again. And then measure 9 is an E minor chord. Well, an E minor chord is here, and they're not showing any inversion. It'd be easier if we could just use first inversion, because then I can just bring the thumb up one. They don't want that. They want here. Okay, fine. We'll go here. And then we're back to a B7 chord, which is here. Minor 7, B7, but they want the D sharp on the bottom. So I'm going to put the B on top. You can leave out that if you want. It's like we went from here to here. We went to E minor. Remember G major and E minor, both one sharp? We just went into the relative minor. And then measure, 14, 15 is an A7 chord. A7 is here. I don't know if you're down here. I guess we're here. We're okay. But depending on where I am, depends on what the melody's doing. And the melody in this case is way up here. So I can be here. I don't want to be down here if the melody's I don't want to be down here. So it's up here. And a D chord. And then we're back to the G chord. And the D chord, I'm playing 4. You can play 3. And then, okay. So those are the chords. Now let's see what it sounds like. And I'm just going to play block chords here. E minor, and 5/7 in E minor, then A7 here, and then D, and then back what we were doing. Okay. So once I have the chord figured out, then I can use their pattern. They just want block eighth notes. You get the idea. As far as the articulation goes, you put in the phrasing if you want. Lift up. If you want to put in the phrasing, that's fine. It goes so fast. In my opinion, just play it. I would, but I would separate between measure 2 and 3, though. I would not connect them. I would not connect them. The left hand is just playing it. Dynamics. It's loud at the beginning, melody. You're just heavy, but you can't be too heavy or these don't work. It means you're limited to how loud you can play quickly. You don't have to go that fast. Sometimes you got to give a little. Maybe I'm not quite so loud and maybe I'm not quite so fast. It's up to you and what you can do. But make sure they're even. Not like I do it, you do it evenly. Now, if you really want to take it up to speed and this 4/5 isn't working, you can use a 5/3. That's a little easier or less difficult. Or maybe a 3/2. I wouldn't do a 3/2. That is a beginner's fingering. It's good exercise to use these other fingers if you can. And then the speed, and that's the killer. Allegro vivace is very quick. But just don't play it so quick, it just sounds like a finger exercise. I mean, there are a number of pros recordings you can find on YouTube and around where it just sounds like a finger exercise. That's too fast. Just how much rage do you need? I don't know. It's just a penny. But it needs to be even and accurate, so slow it down. You can find your penny slower if you need to. You get the idea? Okay. Now there is a note here to transpose this into F major. Okay. Well, we're going from G major down one step to F major. So we're going from one sharp to one flat. All the B's are flat. And the relative minor would be D minor. So on these chords, we're using a 1 and a 5/7 chord. That's what you're going to do in here. 1 and a 5/7 chord. So that gets you through the first part. Now these notes, just take them down one note in the key. Instead of a B, do an A. Here, and then, so it's this chord, and then here. You get the idea? Okay. Then in the second line, measure 9, you're going down into the relative minor, D minor here. Now we're down here, and this is an A. And then the 5/7 chord. The C sharp, it's going to be a B natural then, because you have a B flat. It's B natural, and it's instead of an A7. Well, in G, an A7 is a 2/7, so an F would be a G7 here. G7, just a regular G7 chord here, and instead of a D, you go down one. It's a C. So it's there. And then you're back to what you were doing before F. With F. Yeah. So you're figuring out what the chords are. You can take the chord and take it down a step from a G to an F. From a D7 to a from D7 to a C7, there's different ways of doing it. I can think numbers. I can do one chord in G, I can do one chord in F. 5/7 chord in G, 5/7 chord in F. Whichever. But if you just take everything down one note, there are two. Just remember to play in the key of F, which has one flat. So instead of a G chord, you do an F chord, go down one note, F chord. Instead of a D7, go down one note. Here, it's a C7. The C7, there, with the C. There's another way of doing it.